Cruther writes fear equal. Jared right? No, that's Cruther. Cruther writes fear equals false evidence appearing real. I know that's right. Jared writes, I can feel the pain deep in my chest. Thank God our sis had the strength to document it. That sister has so much strength. And then she broke down when she realized what had actually happened. But I don't know if I'm driving with the wife. You just shot my wife? I don't think I'm going to be cool like that. I don't think I'm going to be calm. I think we have a problem on our hands. But this officer, if you haven't seen the video, his gun is still drawn. And that's the most amazing thing about this video is while this woman is talking, the gun is on her. She's in the car. She's behind the driver's wheel. I mean, the driver's side. And the officer is standing on the passenger side with the gun. I mean, the barrel might have went inside the car. I don't know. If it's not inside the car, it's very, very close. And right next to her is her boyfriend who is dying. And you can hear him cursing. Like, he used the F-bomb a few times. I'm not going to edit it because this is just man's dying words. We need to hear it. This is educational. It really is. Let your children hear this if they're old enough. They need to understand that this is real. This ain't TV. When you get shot in the arm or something, you can die from that. You get shot in your leg and die from that. Very deep. Ed writes, as long as there is low black vote, low member count for the NAACP, NAN, etc., the world don't give a damn about us. I learned that a long time ago, shaking my damn head. That's Ed. How do we convince those that don't vote, the smart dumb cats, that is a part of the problem? That they are, by not voting, they are participating in their own invalidation, okay? Their own invalidation. Why would you do that? Brian, I'm going to check that out, man. Jared writes, and thank God for the store owner, too, shaking my damn head. SMDH. Jericho writes, where's the gay rights activists since their struggle is the same as the black struggle? I'll wait. Oh, you had to go and make that point, huh, Jericho? She makes a good point. She makes a good point. Now, I don't believe that black people should refuse to join the causes of civil rights, right, that are focused on gay rights. But I'm with you. You're right about that. At a time like this, where are the civil rights activists who are gay? Where are these individuals? Okay. Will Mr. Seelbach, okay, I ain't calling nobody out, but I'm keeping it real. I can do that. Nate Ivey with you. This is the Nathan Ivey Show. Chris Seelbach, Mr. Seelbach, who a lot of his ideas I support. When it comes to transgender issues, gay rights issues, he seems to be in the forefront. Press conferences, public statements, the whole 9 yards. What is he going to say about this? Is there any kind of responsibility? I mean, we're not talking about Cincinnati, but around the nation, though, let's take it off from Mr. Seelbach for a second. Around the nation, in general, though, I think Jericho makes a great point. See, that's what we need. If the gay rights folks realize that their fight for civil rights is connected to the fight for civil rights with black people, and when there's an issue that primarily appears to concern black people, those gay rights activists are right there with us. And then when there's an issue that appears to just be focused on gay rights, you got the black activists, right? Black lives matter. You know what? All lives matter. Gay lives matter too. There's strength in numbers is what I'm trying to say. There's strength in numbers, period. That's a great flow, Jericho. I'll wait for it too. I'll wait for it as well. Clarence writes, he had a CCW? Question mark. It appears so. Cruther writes, why does the passenger have to show ID for a broken tail light? Question mark. That's a very good question. That's a very good question. That is a very, wow. Woo, you killed it right there. Hey, Cruther, hey, that's a great question. That's the $1 million question. Why does the passenger have to show ID for a broken tail light? Now, I do know that officers can ask for ID per Supreme Court precedents when they pull over the driver. And maybe that includes for a broken tail light if they believe or suspect that maybe some other law's been broken. But that's a real good question. Maybe it's kind of one of those emasculation efforts like, oh, we got a black man with your lady? I'm going to show you who's in charge, boss. Give me your ID, boss. Take you out in front of your lady. Yeah, you can't. How you going to protect her? You can't even protect yourself. This is the great question, Crutha. Let's wait to see if it's going to be answered. That's a great question. Crystal writes, is modern day homegrown terrorism? Well, let me sit with that for a second because that's a big accusation. You're absolutely right. I feel terrorized. I feel uneasy. Again, my son is nowhere near driving age, and I'm worried about when he becomes driving age. When he says, Dad, can I take the car? And I don't have any good reasons to say no. And so he takes the car and he goes out for the first time. I'm not afraid about him doing something dumb behind the wheel. I'm afraid about something dumb happening to him because he comes in contact with some police officer or some kid out there who don't have a father, who's been raised by the streets. Carolyn writes, do you think it would make a difference if the cops patrolled the neighborhood, were from the neighborhood? Yes, I do, Carolyn. Yes, I do. I do. I think that if you live in a certain neighborhood or a certain city, you're going to have a much more of a connection to the people there. And if you've got more of a connection to the people there, then a different side of you is going to come out than if you don't. Reggie writes, hey, Reggie, good to see you, man. Reggie writes, good morning, Nate. Toronto, Canada is starting to look like a great place to live. James writes, drug tests and psychological testing for that cop immediately. I'm with you. Absolutely. Absolutely. Dare writes, no, Nate, he was killed in Northside doing a traffic stop. Oh, okay. Okay, I'm sorry, then. My apologies. I got it mixed up with another story then. My apologies on that. Monique writes, I was thinking that, Nate. I wonder if more black cops in our community would make a difference. Yes, it would. Just like more black teachers in our schools would make a difference. Okay? And I did that role. Like I told you, I was that guy. I was, Mr. Nathan in the school, the black male at the school. When they had issues with the boys, they brought him to Mr. Nathan because they assumed because I have testicles that somehow else has some kind of secret connection or some kind of extra connection. I did all of that. And I'm here to tell you that there are a lot of black men that work in schools, but we need more as educators, as actual teachers, as the leaders of the classrooms. Okay, teachers have a lot of sway in classrooms. In school buildings. Craig writes, the cops fear for their lives. Same old ish. Ray Tensing is going to walk. People watch the setup. Crystal writes, yeah, well, this has been going on since before we could vote. So good point. Good point. Just like they say the black on black crime. Like if black people stop killing black people in their neighborhoods fighting for basically the table scraps of the elites, well, then cops would stop killing black people because they would know that Black Lives Matter. Yeah, right. Reggie writes, that woman in the video was cool as ice. The officer looked like he wanted to fire again. Reggie, I'm glad you said it first. As I watched the video, the way that he pointed that gun, I felt as if he wanted to take her out the game. That way there's no witnesses. Am I wrong in saying that? If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. These are my personal viewpoints. I don't know that officer. I'm telling you what I honestly thought. Reggie, I'm glad you said it, man, because I almost forgot. And then I wanted to see if somebody else was going to pick up on it. She's lucky to be alive. And that's why she was talking that way. She knew it. She could feel it. That's why she was on Facebook Live. That's why she was on Facebook Live, not Fakesbox. That's why she was on Facebook Live. It was about self-preservation. She could feel it. I wonder if she will admit that in any media she might do in the future. They are going to try to criminalize her. If she's ever been fired for a job, if she's ever been stopped for any kind of drugs, all of that is going to be overly saturated in the media because it will it will discredit her. It'll make her look like one of those blacks that we can't trust, that's always up to no good. And therefore, it can set the table for the police officer involved to walk. Great flow, Reggie. Let me read it again. He writes, that woman in the video was cool as ice. The officer looked like he wanted to fire again. The fear in his voice was palpable. Police that fearful shouldn't have that job. I agree. Brian writes, CCW and stand your ground don't apply to us black folks or to us black folks. Let's see what else. Jerica, Mike. Kiki. Oh, man. Very, very sad. Very sad circumstances. Minnesota and Baton Rouge are now dealing what we dealt with 15 years ago. Remember Timothy Thomas? And he was running from Officer Roach down that alley, down and over the Rhine. And what was his crime? He had a whole bunch of small tickets. And what was revealed is that the police had a practice of just like piling on all of these charges so that you had to pay court fines and or there'd be some kind of bond or warrant for your arrest to ensure that when they stopped you, something would stick. I mean, he had a whole bunch of different silly tickets. Has that practice been stopped? Numerous things to discuss this morning. Let me switch gears here. I'm also reading that a former Fox News host is now suing the chairman of Fox News. That's right. And this person has ties to the Queen City. This person was a host at WCPO many years ago. And I'm talking about Gretchen Carlson. And she's been doing a show, I believe it's a midday show called, what was the title of it? It was The Real Deal or, I don't know, what it's really all about. She spent many years as one of the hosts of their morning show, Fox and Friend. And I think she was also a former like beauty contestant, like maybe she was Miss Ohio or something like that, or Miss USA or something like that. Well, anyway, now she is suing Roger Ailes, and he's the chairman of Fox News. Hardcore conservative. In the lawsuit, she alleges that Ailes did not provide her with anywhere near the network's support and promotion provided to other Fox hosts, who did not complain about harassment and his sexual advances. I think I read a statement in which he said to her, like, point blank, like, you know, when we going to get this started? You know, this sexual relationship between you and I. What? Is he running things like that over there? Could be. And I don't know. I've watched Gretchen. You know, the one thing I appreciate about Gretchen Carlson is not her philosophy at all, but it was her toughness. She had a certain toughness about her. And she would stand her ground with the other men on Fox and Friends. Again, I watch everything. And she would stand her ground and fight tooth and nail even with guests who would come on, okay? She had a certain presence about her. I ain't surprised to hear this. Because if you watch any of the Fox shows, all of the women are not allowed to wear pants. They always wear these I think they're very revealing short dresses. And I think it's part of the reason why Fox News beats the other networks, quite honestly, because it's one of the reasons I watch it. I'll be honest with you, as a man. I mean, listen, I get my politics, I can hear this nonsense, and I can see some leg. What's wrong with that? Don't judge me. I'm being real with you. And, I mean, wow, she spent 11 years at the network and abruptly left, and now she's claiming she's 50 years old. She was Miss America back in 1989. Get this, Roger Ailes is 76. He's 26 years older than her. And apparently he ogled her. He repeatedly commented about her legs. He urged her to wear clothes that enhance her figure and told her she was sexy, but too much hard work. Oh, man. He told her she was sexy, but too much hard work. Now, what does that mean? That means that he was attracted to her, but she had a certain attitude about her. What? I will keep my eyes on it. Very, very interesting. You don't hear things like that coming from Fox News too much. They keep a very, very tight shit. One more time before we leave, please.
They killed my boyfriend. He's licensed. He's licensed to carry. Stay with me. We got pulled over for a busted tail light in the back, and the police he's covered. They killed my boyfriend. He's licensed. He's licensed to carry. He was trying to get out his ID and his wallet out his pocket, and he let the officer know that he had a firearm and he was reaching for his wallet.
She's so calm.
And the officer just shot him in his arm. We're waiting for back. I will, sir. No worries. I will. Fuck. He just shot his arm off. We got pulled over on.
Just keep your hands where they are.